time started to mix it up, and that was very promising for me to see, because if you're gonna be clutch in 1v1, those mix-ups are so important. You can't be predictable. And you know, Stacks, as we've known now as the day has gone on for a while, that this 3v3 portion is really only the first step in the journey. This game, or this format, is really fun, and you really don't know in some of these matchups who's really going to get the edge. But I'm excited for a Gimmick Raze Bull matchup. I have a feeling that one's coming.
Yeah, they have been the 1v1 specialists for their respective teams so far, as Toasty clears out Raze Bull. LJ indirect around Shad, and there is Raze Bull off the recovery. Easily able to get up the side wall, looking for Shad, but instead finding Gimmick in the way. For those of you that are just joining us, it's okay. We forgive you for missing the first half of our excitement here today. We also have our B stream going on with Lawler and Spaceman holding it down for one more lower bracket matchup. And if you want to get over there, it's very simple. You just copy the link for this stream and then add a B at the end of it. And you'll get to watch Sonics and Lil Step Bros in an elimination match, lower bracket round 1. And then it's us for the rest of it here, this upper bracket match, and then 2 more matches in the lower bracket. All 3 matches that you'll see now on this stream, the winner will qualify for at least top 4 and punch their ticket to Riyadh in just a couple of months, as Gimmick denied. LJ comes in with the follow-up, and it's Oxygen striking first.
Yeah, nice push here by Oxygen. Gimmick launches that ball in front, and AJG, really an ill-advised touch in front of the net. He gave Gimmick a chance at that shot, and well, you have to be able to rely on that follow-up from your teammate. I think AJG just came in a little hard at that ball. You know, Gimmick, he was gonna have to work for that ball beyond the corner, at least find the read. Might have been better to have Shad come in and try to take that challenge instead. I think he made Shad's job a little bit harder. That one's gonna cost Complexity just a little early, as Toasty sends that one on his own backboard.
Oh, Gimmick having to deal with Raze Bull there in the corner, and yeah, I have to imagine physical play has got to be in the cards here for Complexity. We've seen it all throughout the RLCS. The most physical teams tend to be the most successful these days. AJG lining up a double on target, and then he got the dunk as well on Toasty.
Look at AJG, pop off for Complexity here. Pop up in front, nobody to challenge him, and lands perfectly in front of the ball again. I mean, he got underneath it, maybe had that reset twice, but Stacks, who needs the reset when the read's so good in front of the box? Well done, AJG.
You can expect a lot more of that if we get into the 2v2 portion of this. And LJ almost got a dunk in kind on AJG, but he held his ground on the goal line. Toasty will sky one forward, but AJG quickly on his way back. Shad missed that ball though, and now LJ looking for a teammate, had to stay with that play. That was well read and intercepted just about by Complexity, and then Shad shuts down Toasty.
Good win from Shad there. Complexity trying to get set up on offense now. It's actually been pretty difficult for Complexity to get some consistent possessions. They keep getting forced out to the sides. The middle of the field is really has not been contested that often by Oxygen, but they've been able to withstand the Complexity pressure for as much as it's been worth. AJG got the demo, but a big stop there by Gimmick on the goal line, and Oxygen are back on offense.
Yeah, back and forth the teams battle here with 2 minutes left. It's like we just started. Nobody has the upper hand. Raze Bull has AJG downfield, but LJ in the way, and not many follow-up opportunities. You're not going to see teams score on their first trip down the field. It's going to be that second or third chance opportunity as they try to wear the defense down or get a massive dunk, as we saw from AJG. He's got the ball skied up to Raze Bull right now, whiffed on it, and Gimmick will just guide that out to the corner. The matchups we expect as we continue on here would be Gimmick versus Raze Bull in a 1v1, and then everybody else playing twos. LJ would team up with Toasty, and Shad would team up with AJG. That's what they did last time around.
I'm wondering if Complexity don't go, if they don't switch up their 2v2. Because like the way Raze Bull's playing ones, you gotta find a way to get involved in there on the 2v2. This dude is a lethal weapon for the team, and you know, no disrespect to AJG, but I feel like against Oxygen, you're up against Toasty and LJ. Those two really solid in the 2v2 game. And, you know, they've been playing together for a very long time. So I think that just with the way RazeBull's been playing today, and really the way RazeBull's been playing lately in general, I feel like you got to go to this weapon whenever you can. If he's popping off in ones like he did against Alpha Kep, maybe you go to him for 2v2. I think it really depends. If you lose this, I think you got to go to RazeBull, because I don't know if the AJ Shad combo is going to get it done against Toasty LJ.
Yeah, this is where the decision trees come in. That's what makes this format so exciting. The loser of the previous game gets to choose between 1v1 and 2v2 for the next game. It'll be interesting to see what they decide. There is no choice for game 3. We just go with whatever we haven't played. We still got to get through game 1, which maybe AJG kept that out from the goal line as LJ almost stole it at the end. Now Shad bearing down on Toasty. This is going to hang up there for AJG to win it for Complexity.
It started with AJG, and he was going to finish the job he started. Shad with a beautiful 50-50, and AJG is right in the way, but Stacks, it happened way beforehand. The big save on the goal line from AJG. You saw him pre-jump a little early with LJ behind the ball. He wasn't sure how much power, how much height was going to be behind that ball, but he was able to react in time, be in the perfect spot, and then RazeBull got the touch in midfield. I mean, that was excellent from Complexity on the stretch to take the game.
And very quickly, the call has come out as Oxygen will have the choice. We're going to play 2v2, but we're also going to watch AJG just get it going for Complexity. The big-time save on the goal line as well. And then the winner in overtime as Complexity takes down Oxygen, or rather at 0 seconds, as Complexity takes down Oxygen. And now we go to 2v2, Jorby. We'll get to see exactly what Complexity goes with. AJG
telling you, they gotta put RazeBull.
Hot hand.
You got to put RazeBull.
You're going AJG RazeBull?
No. I think, you know what? Yeah, I'm fine with any.
You're fine with RazeBull
composition
and
that includes
broomstick,
RazeBull,
basically, at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like,
if you can clone RazeBull twice, I'd pick that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't. So I'm saying AJG or Shad, I think, are fine. I actually think I like Shad more because I think that Shad is much more aggressive than AJG is, and he'll be there for those follow-ups a lot more often. And you might think, oh, 2v2, why do you want to be aggressive? But being in position for the follow-up is what makes you a good 2v2 team. It's, you know, you can't pull back because it's just giving up possession, especially against a team like Oxygen with LJ and Toasty. I'm curious. It looks like it is going to be AJG and RazeBull taking the pitch against LJ and Toasty. So I like this. I think this is good.
I think there are two schools
for
of thought here for what you do in the 2v2, right? Like, let's say you're dead set on RazeBull is going to play your 1v1, as he did in the last round, as he's stopped by LJ here. AJG's follow-up easily set away by Toasty. Now you got to watch the counterattack. We'll get to it in a moment. It's LJ against RazeBull. Got over him and slams it home. But going back to what we were talking about, Jorby, those two schools of thought, do you have the two players that are not playing the 1v1 team up so you have everybody involved, or just go the space station route and go, all right, Arsenal, have a seat. Daniel is the guy.
Absolutely. You pick your guy. You play the hot hand. It's like, you know, when, look, when your starting goalie goes down in the playoffs in hockey, but then your backup comes in, and he starts saving everything. If your starter gets back and he's healthy, you don't play the starter. You play the hot hand until he gives you a reason to bench him. And I think that's how Complexity have to approach this with RazeBull. Really, I think that's how every team should be approaching this. It's not about getting everybody involved. It's about putting your best players on the pitch to win the series. I mean, this is a series to go to LAN. You got to put your best player on the field. That's RazeBull, and that shot taken away. He missed on that last attempt on the save from LJ, but some good pressure early here from Complexity.
And you raise a very good point there, and I think this is another kind of low-key hidden aspect of this crew battles format. The best team is going to win this, and I'm not talking about just play on the pitch, as LJ just got up there and stops AJG. You gotta have some selfless players that are checking their ego at the door, because you may have a guy who's like, okay, I want to be the guy in the 1v1, or I want to be on the field at all times, and somebody has to be able to step up as the leader and go, no, either you don't have it, or this is the combo we're going with, and they've got to manage those egos if they exist.
Ooh. There's a good demo by LJ and a nice catch by Toasty. Oh, look at Toasty, a nice carry. Who says you can't get mechanical in a dominance? It's just a simple air drill. We'll calm down, Jorby. But LJ, gonna pull back.
That is That is elite mechanics for a dominace. What are you talking about?
I think Oxygen have looked pretty good so far in the 2v2, although they got to defend this pass, and LJ read it perfectly. He had no post. LJ had literally, he's just working on small pads in front of the goal line. He's waiting for Raisebowl to approach. He knew AJG was on the side, but when you only have like 12 to 24 boost at any given time in front of the net, you can only put yourself in so many positions, and you're basically getting up and hoping AJG shoots it on the line. And he did. I mean, that was just great positioning by LJ defensively. You put yourself in the right spot, you jump up, and hopefully, you know, your prayers don't need to be answered. Rather, your IQ did the job for you. And I think that was the case there for LJ.
Toasty battling Raisebowl to the corner. Raisebowl got the ball, but Toasty managed to grab that corner boost, and that allowed him to kind of sprint down the field, be a threat to try and get in maybe AJG's way, as Raisebowl will collect this, dribble it back to his own penalty area, and here we go again. AJG waiting underneath for Raisebowl. He can't get a pass to him, so he's got to play this himself out of the corner. Back inside 2 minutes, still the 1-0 lead for Oxygen in game 2. Remember, they chose this 2v2. Toasty and LJ, the longtime duo, going back to the Jamal Jabari days. Now joined by Gimmick with Oxygen. He's made a big difference. He made a big difference earlier today. Won the 1v1 that got them started on their reverse sweep effort. And then they took the 3v3 en route to that reverse sweep over Sonics. Now Raisebowl dancing through the air. And he just had LJ under a spell.
Yeah, there was nothing LJ could do here. Boost bounce for him. He waits for the challenge. Toasty absolutely destroyed. And LJ pulls back, hits the brakes. And as soon as he hits the brakes, that's when Raisebowl decides to pull the trigger, and there was no way he was going to catch up with the speed. Raisebowl taking advantage of winning that 50, pulling LJ back where he had to respect Raisebowl's approach. He had full control, he had to react, and he was always going to lose that. Excellent job by Raisebowl. That's why you put him in, Stacks.
Here, and LJ just let that one go, but they're so deadly. They're so quick, Complexity.
That's why you got to put Raisebowl in. The way he's been playing so far in the tournament. Got the tie game. Oh my! I mean, Oxygen have done good enough to keep Complexity out of their own half for good. You know, Complexity haven't really mounted some serious pressure. Raisebowl starting to get control of the ball though, and he's got a perfect read and a perfect shot. El Toro strikes again.
Oh, this is unreal. Toasty got a hand up at the end. Didn't have a chance. Raisebowl had him beat all day. His second goal of the series, and now it is bear down time for Oxygen. They know there's a 1v1 coming up. They drop this game, they will have no more choices the rest of the way. As AJG, Raisebowl, LJ's gonna pop this one up, try and take it himself, looking for the tie, and he answers back. How about that for a response?
LJ said there's more than one highlight reel player on the pitch. Got the reset, got the double. That's beautiful from LJ. Oh, how good is this kid, Stacks? Joins this Oxygen team. They pick up Gimmick, and he's just gotten even better since then. And in this 2v2, there's few other players you'd want behind the ball other than LJ. Excellent work.
Got a little tricky off the kickoff, did Complexity. They've got possession out of it. Raisebowl taking it himself. Now LJ waiting patiently, got to strafe over and make the save. He does. Raisebowl, one last chance. No, we're headed to overtime in game 2. No 0-second goal, but plenty of late dramatics.
Oh, Complexity would love this. Getting the win here, you got Raisebowl waiting in the wings on the 1v1 against Gimmick. That one, I really don't know how that one's going to go. That might be the point where Oxygen start a reverse sweep if they can't win here. Definitely not out of the woods for Complexity. LJ has been coming online, and he got a nasty flick! LJ puts Oxygen on his back for the dub!
He's been the only goal scorer for the blue side in this series. LJ, put him in the backpack, tied up. And now we go to game 3. We know it's a 1v1. And man, oh man, So much on the line with this one series. I mean, this is the one series that you got to get, right? You don't want to drop down to the lower bracket and have to play another match tonight. You just want to get to the upper bracket final. You know Space Station's waiting in the wings, but also, you know, all the hard work is done if you just survive this one series.
Well, I think that this actually works in Oxygen's favor. I think this Gimmick versus RazeBull match coming up is very close. I do not know who is going to come out on top. It's been a while since I've seen Gimmick play a lot of 1v1, but if he faces the RazeBull that we saw in that second 1v1 that he played against Alpha Kep, then you're going to have a bit of trouble figuring out where exactly RazeBull is going to go with the ball. Now, RazeBull, I think, has to be careful. He can't get locked into a rhythm like he did in that first series against Alpha Kep, because as soon as you become predictable in 1v1, that's when you're dead. And Oxygen winning this game would put themselves in an incredible spot, because Complexity would have to respond, right? I imagine if they lose this, they pick 3v3. Ooh, RazeBull almost getting the first touch there. But this, whoever wins this, I mean, that's serious implications for what game mode we might see next. And RazeBull gonna put in the first goal, flipping Gimmick out.
Oh, poor Gimmick. I mean, you run out of real estate there on the back wall. You got to do something. And RazeBull just waits him out. He had inevitability. 14 seconds in, it is RazeBull that scores first. He scored 6 goals twice against Alpha Kep. First time he gave up 7. Second time, he held Alpha Kep to just 3. He had all the adjustments. And now,
oh, simple flick.
Maybe they hold
simple
all the
flick.
cards. RazeBull goes right over top. 2-0.
Oh, Gimmick, he gets caught between a rock and a hard place here. RazeBull gets a perfect catch, and he's got so much speed coming down off the ramp, and Gimmick hadn't even realized it before it was too late. As soon as he turns around, he was dead on that flick. RazeBull knew it, which is why it was just simple double jump forward, flick, easy goal. Well, RazeBull started out real hot here, Stacks.
Well, we're over 30 seconds into the 1v1, and it's still true. LJ is the only one who scored anything for Oxygen, and RazeBull's gonna add a third.
Oh. Getting a little scary now for Gimmick as he pushes this one up, and just RazeBull never quitting on the play. The Gimmick was not at a good challenge angle. As soon as RazeBull takes that ball away, he stays on the line and flips forward, but RazeBull beats him on the challenge again, making Gimmick look a little silly on his attempt there on defense. He's got to stop the bleeding here. Plenty of time. I mean, even if RazeBull gets a score on this possession, that's a good win by Gimmick to get the challenge out. He had not been successful on the kickoffs. And now he's off the ceiling, but that's not going to get it done. RazeBull easily clears that one out.
So Complexity has indeed changed up their methodology here. RazeBull deemed to be the guy that's going to lead them to victory, and boy is he. 4 goals in just over a minute, and it is a nightmare right now for Gimmick as he's still yet to score. LJ having all 4 goals for Oxygen between the 3v3 and the 2v2. And oh, I don't know what that was out of RazeBull, but he still ends up with possession. That's the way he scores again off this. Gimmick went for
kickoff.
boost.
Fake kickoff.
Okay.
Gimmick sees it, he tried to control it, but he had used all of his boost, and then when he ended up touching the ball, RazeBull was close enough to be able to steal it away. Again, the mix-up, Stacks. RazeBull's got full control of this.
Yeah.
Gimmick has to react.
All right.
Look, you could sell anything.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's got all day to play this. But now RazeBull right back in his face. Boost steal out of the corner. Gimmick might have a look here. Can't follow this play up, mainly because of that boost starve. Gimmick will repay the favor. He's got all the boost going downfield. RazeBull just dumps that off to the corner. I mean, that's the thing. Gimmick can have, all 500 boosts that he picks up around the field. But RazeBull is the one with the 4-goal lead, and he's got the fact that Gimmick has to come at him at some point, and RazeBull still didn't let him get a good look.
Here, Gimmick was able to steal the ball away, so he's got a little bit of control, but almost really did mishandle it. RazeBull just demos him. Even when Gimmick starts to get control of it, he's just taking too long to break out and find a way out against RazeBull. Now RazeBull with control again. Here he comes from his own side. Got the demo, and he just can't stop right now. This man is A well-oiled missile fired right on target. Boom goes Gimmick, boom goes the net.
Fitting that both RazeBull and Alpha Kep scored either bump or demo goals at almost the exact same time in their respective games. Alpha Kep's game a little bit closer. Little Step Bros trying to take a 2-1 series lead over Sonics, as Alpha Kep's got a 3-2 lead, make it 4-2 over there. And now RazeBull in control again. Gimmick didn't get this ball cleanly. RazeBull indirect for himself, but he can't get around for the shot, so he'll just keep possession. Almost like he's playing with his food at this point, going over top of Gim inside 2 minutes with a 5-zip lead. Here's the chance. Gimmick, you're never out of it. Gotta look here, and he scores.
Finally got space and control. I don't think Gimmick's been behind the ball for more than 3 seconds at a time for the last 3 minutes, but he finally got some space. RazeBull pulled off the play, had to respond on defense, and Gimmick got a perfect ceiling shot right over his hood. There's plenty of time left, Stacks. 4 goals, you just gotta win some of these kickoffs. That one probably not gonna get it done. He's gonna have to respond to that. Oh, but RazeBull kind of gave it up there. The demo's gonna make things real difficult. Oh, he tried to wrap it around. No, Gimmick. He rushed it just a little bit. He saw RazeBull spawn, and I think that really hurried up his inputs there. And now RazeBull just put it in the back of his net. Oh, that's heartbreaking if you're Gimmick.
They're not all rise, Gimmick. You can take your time. And then he couldn't get back in time to stop the counter. That's a 2-goal swing. You go from you should be down 4, cutting another one into it, or actually should be down 3. Now you're down 5. Gimmick's gonna circle back for the midfield boost here. Needs this challenge at least. And it goes neutral. That's about the best case scenario. You can get a shot off. RazeBull gonna have a tough time reaching, and he does. Follow up. RazeBull couldn't stop that. Minute 17 to go. 4 goals. We heard Johnny Boy talking about it earlier. He's seen as much as 7. I've seen as much as 6. This is still very much in the realm of possibility for Gimmick if he can just win a couple more challenges.
I mean, really, he's just got to get control of this ball. Like, as soon as he does and he forces RazeBull out of the play, then he just starts with those hard shots, and it's tough for RazeBull to defend those. Gimmick seems like at his best right now when he's taking those hard power shots at the net. But RazeBull has just been, it's been so difficult to contend with him, because look at him just screen across. He got the boost steal too. It forces Gimmick to skirt off the play after scooping him out from under the ground. I mean, look at this. He just has to respond. Now he's finally got boost. He's got the save, but how much time did that waste off the clock? Gimmick needs a quick turnaround. RazeBull already back in position. He's got control, and RazeBull already there to defend it. Hard to tell when exactly to pull that flick off when RazeBull shades himself behind the ball so well against Gimmick.
It's a tough break for Gimmick again, because RazeBull ends up in Gimmick's net, and Gimmick actually got to that corner boost pretty quickly, just could not break out quick enough, and that has been the problem for Gimmick. He's had a couple real good opportunities. The window has been open for him, but he just hasn't been able to pull the trigger fast enough, getting downfield or just getting a shot off in general. He'll try here with 15 seconds left. RazeBull with one last stop, and that's got to drain all the hope out of Gimmick there. And if that didn't, this one certainly does. A bouncer in right as Alpha Kep scores again, by the way, to take that game over there in OT. And a more dominant victory for RazeBull, who beat Alpha Kep to get to this spot. 7-2 now with 9 seconds left.
RazeBull wants to go to LAN, doesn't he?
Yeah, I would say so.
This is pretty dominant behavior from RazeBull. Now the question is, do Oxygen go right back to the 2v2? Do you put the fate of your team right back into LJ? I think
you do.
2v2 makes sense.
I think you have to go 2v2. I mean, you know, if it goes 5, Complexity is going to take 1v1 after watching that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for
I don't think Oxygen could beat them in 3s.
No, I don't think so either. I think you go with Toasty and LJ in the 2v2 as we watch back the RazeBull highlight reel with a couple cameo appearances from Gimmick along the way. That's about as dominant as it gets. It's not quite Daniel level, but it was pretty darn close. A 5-0 lead holds up as the margin of victory in the end for RazeBull and Complexity, now up 2-1 in the series. And guess what, Jorby? We're wrong. They're going 3s.
Oh, 3. Interesting. Okay, Oxygen. I like that's
spoilers, everybody.
That's a bold statement.
That is a bold. You know, when you look at it from Oxygen's point of view, you know Game 5 is taken completely out of your hands. Because you watch that and you go, okay, RazeBull is going to play Game 5. It's going to be 1v1. You know, we just got to get there. Might as well have the whole team involved and just roll the dice, see where they land. It was just a 1-goal game in Game 1. So, you know, maybe they are more confident there.
I think Oxygen absolutely can beat them in 3v3, but with the way Complexity have looked so far today, I definitely have to give them the edge. I think today, with how RazeBull's looking, and we saw AJG in that first 3v3 set, he was looking really good. I just think it's going to be a difficult task for Oxygen. Not saying that they can't do it, but I personally, I think that the 2v2 would be a little bit stronger for them. I think LJ can match up really well with RazeBull's mechanics, and you can get a lot of you can create a lot of opportunity when you have those types of mechanics behind you. But 3v3 is a fine pick for Oxygen. I still think it's a little bold. We'll see if it works out.
This is a team going back to their Jamal Jabari days, especially with Toasty and LJ being together. They've been oh so close so many times, but they've come up just a little bit short in the end. They had a shot at qualifying for the RLCS Winter Major, had 2 really good events, needed a third. They just fell a little bit short. Now, here they are, now needing 2 wins back-to-back, definitely against the odds, to try and add another country to their passport, but they've got Complexity standing in their way, who are accomplished world travelers in their own right here.
Yeah, I think that for Complexity, I mean, this is big for them. Just like thinking about how their journey has been as a team, just throughout, you know, the RLCS and even a side tournament here or there, it hasn't been the best showing for Complexity, or at least to the standard that they would like to hold themselves at. And winning here in the upper bracket would certainly go a ways to continuing to build that confidence, because it's not going to get any easier as these matches go. But this format has been really fun to see, you know, where we start to see some of these individual player strengths, where we don't really see RazeBull play a lot of 1v1, but we've gotten a good portion of 1v1 from RazeBull in this tournament, and we see how dynamic he can be. We'll see what Oxygen can do. I think that this team it's one of those teams, again, that have just been like in the lab, churning, and they're getting there. They're starting to get those wins that you don't expect them to. And so picking the 3v3, I like the confidence in that pick. But I still like that Toasty LJ combo. I thought 2v2 would be a good way to go.
And it's interesting because they're going to put Gimmick right back on the pitch after he struggled there with RazeBull. You figure if you go 2v2, you got Toasty and LJ, you let Gimmick kind of simmer off to the side, get his thoughts back. Maybe he comes back for that inevitable 1v1 with RazeBull. They're going to go with the 3s as we wait on, I think, one more player to get back in. Trust me, we wouldn't be hanging around on our ugly mugs if we didn't have to be. So as soon as I believe Toasty gets back in and ready to go, we will have a series, maybe finale for you, with RazeBull picking up his second 1v1 win of the day. He goes 2-1 up to this point, winning his last 2 games by a combined total of 8 goals. Dominant against Alpha Kep down the stretch in the last round. Dominant against Gimmick now. And now he gets to do it with 2 of his best friends by his side for Game 3. AJG is back. So too are LJ and Toasty. We are underway with Game 4.
Let's see what Oxygen got. I felt like they started out pretty well at the start of the 3v3 last time. The biggest thing, though, is that they weren't able to generate consistent pressure against that Complexity defense. And here already they're starting to get shots on the blue half. LJ got the first save. AJG coming in next, squares up against Gimmick. We're underway, but RazeBull winning that touch. Complexity can switch it up on you. They'll pull back. This team used to be all aggression all the time, but they've certainly evolved over the course of the last 6 months, and they certainly mix it up a lot more often now. RazeBull dropping that. You know, 3 months ago, RazeBull just goes for that flip reset. He doesn't leave it. He just goes. And there's a lot of evolution with that team.
There has been. There's a lot of evolution with this Oxygen squad as well, especially reported to have signed a long-term deal with the organization. With all that speculation that maybe LJ would end up going somewhere. RazeBull scores just under the bar. What a recovery as Complexity strikes first.
Again, Shad got the touch out, but RazeBull, perfect landing. Talk about the recovery. Held on to that air roll as he touched the ground, jumped right back up, maintained the speed, got the goal. Great follow-up there from Raisbull off the initial pass from Shad.
AJG looking for Shad again. He peeled off the play, though, and now it's on Oxygen to answer back, as they've had to do many times in this series already. Complexity have been awesome early in games, and Raisbull just for the entire 5 minutes, regardless of the format. Toasty up top trying to get in AJG's way, didn't work out. Gimmick, look at his center, and AJG just stuffed him there. And there's no follow-up any further from Oxygen. This goes right back out to the center line, and it's all Complexity.
Oxygen, like you said, are reacting right now. Even there, Gimmick, he pushed off the play. Actually able to move downfield. AJG was a little slow on the rotation. That gave Oxygen the opening to break out into the orange half. You see Oxygen, everyone pulling back. LJ and Gimmick gonna wait for that touch in midfield. Respond with a quick counterattack back to LJ. Up high off the board. Here comes Gimmick, but it hits a little too high. Flips back into it and just can't get enough power. It was a good little bit of improv there from Gimmick as he got his reset off the attempted double tap, but it was taken away.
Coming up on that halfway mark where Complexity are just about due to score again. This goes over AJG's head. Raisbull, last line of defense. AJG just got a piece of that. It was a wide open net if not for the one defender coming in from the back. But now Oxygen have some momentum. LJ pulled a little bit off of that, and Raisbull did not take the bait as he'll try and get around Gimmick. That is well done by Raisbull, who can do absolutely no wrong right now for the Vamos squad.
Oxygen really need to get somebody in midfield to challenge Raisbull. How many times has he just dribbled the ball in the air or the ground right to the midfield line for free? Everyone on Oxygen pulling back and thinking, all right, let's just react to this. You can't. I mean, they've been stuck in the blue half. They've had scarce opportunities in the orange half. Somebody has to be ready at that midfield line to challenge Raisbull. It's just nothing else is working. You can't play that counterattack. Complexity have been ready for it every time. And if you want to keep going to that, then they're going to need to find a way to create space through demos, bumps, or whatever. But as long as Shad just continues to get flip resets for free, unchallenged in the third, AJG are going to have a chance like that, and Raisbull will be back ready to get the clear out.
LJ, bank off the ceiling, not exactly the way he intended that ball to get there, and is Raisbull chasing this downfield, stealing boost. And Shad, oh, what a dump. Just a little bit wide, bad break for Oxygen, but maybe they can build something off of it. LJ for a Gimmick for the tie, Shad out to meet him. And no follow-up, Toasty demolished, wide open net, and Raisbull rushed it. Oh, the gift he was given in the 1v1 has been returned with a receipt, and Shad makes the save into the final minute. Needs another. Gotta have someone coming in. AJG got a piece of Toasty's shot.
Oxygen given a big chance there, but they actually couldn't find the net without a Complexity player in it to defend the shot. Raisbull gonna take that one out downfield, who hopefully doesn't have to look back at his earlier opportunity and think, why did I not just score that ball? But Gimmick gonna force the 50 out. I mean, that was a chance if you were ever gonna get one for Oxygen. Like I said, they haven't had a lot despite amassing 7 shots on net. I don't remember any of them.
Gimmick, met by AJG, got this one through, but LJ wasn't ready for it. Has to chase it down, then eat a demo for his efforts. Toasty keeps it alive. Gimmick giving chase to the corner as well. One last chance now for Oxygen. Down to their last few seconds, down to their last life. LJ will take charge. Flip it up there for Toasty. Gimmick in a real tough spot, and that's gonna do